Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Yesterday in Abuja, the All Progressive Congress leadership held an emergency national caucus meeting to discuss critical issues affecting the party, including the postponement of the general election. Joining us now to discuss the outcome of that meeting is Chief George Moghalu, the party's National Organizing Secretary. Welcome to the morning show, Chief Moghalu. Yes, now let me just go straight away. Yesterday at that caucus meeting, the President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as the chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, were all smoking and not only attacking the electoral umpire. At a time, we thought everybody should be sympathetic to the situation that has just happened, and we all work towards having this election this Saturday. So why was the APC on the offensive and attacking both the INEC and the opposition parties?
It's not about attacking, so to speak. The truth is that everybody felt very frustrated, felt very disappointed, because you are dealing with a political class. You are dealing with you have touched the emotions of the Nigerian people. You can't fix an election. We had all the time in the world to plan this election, only for this election to be postponed or rather cancelled barely a few hours to the commencement of the process. So it was a clear manifestation of everybody's frustration. Everybody felt unhappy and felt disappointed. That's exactly what happened.
At that caucus, the president did make a comment that is now generating serious controversies, asking for those who would intend to snatch ballot boxes to think twice, or else they'll pay with their lives. Isn't that a steep price to pay for an electoral offense?
No, it's not about being you're talking about how frustrated people can be, how disappointed people can be. Why would politicians go to the extent of insisting on carrying ballot boxes in this era? Why don't you go to election and submit yourself to the wills of the people? Why must you do that? So it was a manifestation of the president's anger, and we need to tell ourselves the truth. The political class need to understand that running an election and winning an election is to be determined by the people. You don't impose yourself on the people. So why would you want to manipulate the process? Why don't you subject yourself to election? So it was a clear manifestation of the president's disappointment, everybody's disappointment, everybody's frustration.
But isn't it unconstitutional for what the president has just done? I mean, inviting the military to the elections, because he says he has given them, he says in his words, I rarely gave others to the military and the police. The military has no business in the elections. That is one. Two, is the president not aware of the Electoral Act, section 129, subsection 4, that states clearly that upon conviction of snatching a ballot box, a person would be liable to 24 months in prison?
No, you may like to know that the military have a specific responsibility of providing security. They have a responsibility of protecting the lives of the people, especially in a situation they think that the situation has overwhelmed the police. So inviting the military to provide additional security for an election that is as important as this, I don't see anything wrong with that. But the point is that they have their limitations. They have the extent they can go. The police has the primary responsibility, so the military can be there to provide additional support for the police. The important thing is that we need security for the election to be conducted in a credible manner, for the election to be conducted in a free environment, devoid of any kind of pressure from anybody. So that the excesses of some thugs, some politicians who may have hired thugs, can be checked. The important thing here is that we need to create an enabling environment for people to exercise their franchise. We need to create an enabling environment for elections to take place, so that at the end of the day, we can have an election that is adjudged credible, and an election that is adjudged free and fair, so that the people can exercise their franchise, so the will of the people can manifest. All right, so it's not about bringing the military to start arresting people. No, that's not the import from my own understanding of the comments that were made. What I understand that to mean is that the military will provide additional security to ensure that, one, there's peace, the environment is secure for people to exercise their franchise, so people can be free to do what they're expected to do.
All right, Chief. A lot of accusations have been thrown at the All Progressives Congress, and they've called them a consortium of bloodthirsty political class. Because when you actually parallax the body bag statement and misstep by the Kaduna State government to this one right now, they're saying that the APC are showing signs of desperation and trying to probably by hook or crook win this election. From all that has been happening and the influence of debt every single time the APC speaks about the 2019 election, isn't the APC desperate? And are they not trying to stoke violence, so to speak?
No. The truth about it is that what do you expect disappointed politicians, what do you expect desperate politicians to say at this point in time when loss is staring them in the face? The truth is that you expect comments like this to come up. Even the comment about body bags made by the governor of Kaduna State, he has come out through his media aid to give proper clarification with regards to that. What we are saying is that, one, that the environment should be free and fair. We want a secure environment to ensure that people exercise their franchise. The people are talking about are people who are used to writing results. We are not used to writing results. We are used to voting. We are used to allowing the people to exercise their franchise so that their votes can count. That is our tradition. So we cannot change it now. There's no way, we're not desperate. We are the ones that are incumbent. What we are saying, we've gone to these elections. I had the privilege or the opportunity of going with the president to at least 33 states of the country. We saw the responses of the people. We saw the commitment of the people to returning the president back to office. The truth about it is that our opponents are scared. That side, you wouldn't lose sight of that fact. They are scared of what is ahead of them. So that fear is there. So anything they try to twist it to appear, to give a kind of funny interpretation to honest statements and honest comments made. Our concern is that we want a free, fair, credible election. We are also worried that INEC disappointed Nigerians. They had an opportunity to offer Nigerians a free, fair, credible, well-organized election. And then few hours to the election. Few hours. The decision to postpone that election could have been taken a week before. It could have been taken 3 days before. It could have been taken 4 days before. And don't lose sight of the fact that when the chairman was accusing INEC of having revealed the information to PDP before the proper cancellation was done, it was in the social media. This speculation was in the social media that the election may be postponed. By the time reactions came, they pulled out the message. The truth still remains that we are not happy. No Nigerian is happy with what INEC did. And that point has been made and made very clearly that we are not happy. And INEC should get its acts right because everything they require, like in the president's statement yesterday, everything they require was provided for them. So they had no reason, justifiable, to do what they have done. But however, we have put that behind us. We are looking forward to the next Saturday. Our appeal, like the chairman made yesterday, was, please, INEC, don't fail us again. Don't give us a reason again to get worried. Don't toy with the emotions of the Nigerians.
There was also the contention.
It's not about being desperate. We are not desperate. We are the incumbent, and we are confident of ourselves. We are confident after having gone through throughout the country, the 36 states of the Federation, including Abuja, 37. Now, the truth is that we have presented our scorecard, and Nigerians are going to assess the president based on his scorecard.
Okay, there has been the contention that your party has been in favor or looking for opportunity to have staggered election. Hence, some of the big wigs from your party were also putting pressure that the election should go on despite the hiccups noticed so that we can hold perhaps the states where we have problems some other time and mobilize federal might to those states. What's your response to this argument, to this position, the accusation against your party?
I think that is mere speculation. That is mere speculation. If we are looking for a staggered election, why did we get ourselves involved in campaigning across the country? There's no truth in that. It's just mere speculation. You see, the truth about it is that we are dealing with a desperate people. We are dealing with a political class that feels disappointed, who has this feeling of entitlement to power. And unfortunately for them, they lost it. After being 16 years in office, they can't reconcile the fact that after 16 years, that another party is drawing the government successfully in 3.5 years, going to 4 years. So the truth about it is that they are desperate, so they can say anything at this point in time to see if they can attract any iota of sympathy. But Nigerians know better. Nigerians know where we were By the time this government came into office, Nigerians know where we want to take this country to. So it's not about what people think. It's not about what people say. The reality on the ground, we want to be assessed based on what we have done. We have no intentions about staggering election. We don't ask for it. I want an election, a credible election, that will provide opportunity for our numerous supporters to express themselves so that we can have a free, fair, credible election that can be compared with any other election all over the world. Last time I spoke to the media, I told them that INEC has a responsibility. That major responsibility is that they must, at the end of the day, come out better than 2015. And no excuse can be accepted.
Well, if INEC didn't have 640 cases, legal cases, and 40 others to include or exclude political actors, perhaps we would not also be in this situation. But that aside, you talked about putting this behind you now and looking ahead to Saturday. However, the statement by the president and the chairman of your party do not suggest that. Your party does not seem to be buying into the excuse of logistics by INEC for this postponement. Perhaps, are you privy to why INEC postponed this election?
How else do you buy into it? We are confronted with a no-no situation. The point is that election has been postponed, simpliciter. A new date has been provided. We have no choice. It's not about us now. It's about the Nigerian people. It's about INEC providing us a new date, and the new date has come. And the new date is next Saturday, 23rd.
But the president says that investigations...
So our concern now is to get ourselves...
But the president says investigations will be carried out and basically implying that, someone has to take the fall. So it all seems like you're not buying into the logistics and operational plans challenges that INEC has told the nation.
No. Mr. President was very clear, and the National Caucus took a decision on it, that we are asking the president to conduct an inquiry. We want to know what happened. It's too simplistic for you to come out and say we have logistics problems. We want to know what happened so that we can, tomorrow we will not have a situation like that again. This is not going to be the last election we are going to have in this country. After 4 years again, there's going to be another election. So we must look at what happened, what led us to the position where we found ourselves, so that we can learn lessons from it. So it's important that it is investigated, it's important that inquiries are made, it's important that people come and say what happened, so that it can be documented, at least if nothing else, for the next election, so that we can learn a few lessons from it.
All right, Chief, I would like to once again still dwell on some of the things that actually came up from that particular caucus meeting yesterday, and the way Nigerians are actually reacting to it has not been that kind. Is the APC assuring Nigerians that they will be able to make that transition into the next cycle of democracy for Nigeria without any kind of violence? Are they committed towards that, knowing that in this Fourth Republic from 1999 to 2003 down to 2015 when the APC took over, violence has not been, we have not seen massive violence, or have not seen real violence actually erupt after elections, during and after elections?
No, we are committed. We are committed to a peaceful election. Government is doing everything to ensure that there's peace, there's stability, and that is why when you raise the issue of the military being involved, the reason for asking the military to take part or to provide additional security is to ensure that we have no violence. And we are not a violent party. We don't encourage violence. We abhor it, and we detest it. And everything we can do as a party and as a government to ensure that we have a peaceful, violent-free environment to ensure that people exercise their franchise. You see, we must come to a point where we understand that elections is part of a democratic process. And it is the people that have the final say. We must ensure as a government, it's one of the primary responsibilities of government, to ensure that we have a safe environment. And that is what government is concerned about. And every effort is being made to ensure that we have a fair, a violent-free environment, so that on Saturday, Nigerians everywhere will come out and make their decision known by casting their vote for whoever they desire to represent their interest. So at the end of the day, I am confident. I have no reason to doubt the ability of government to provide enough security to ensure that we have a secure environment during the elections that is coming up on Saturday.
Okay, Chief Moghalu, the APC seem to be playing the victim in this whole saga of postponement, is it a way of diverting attention? Because many people also believe that APC seem to know something about what transpired that has led to this postponement.
That's a surprising assertion, because the truth about it is that we know nothing. We are victims. It's not that we are playing, we are victims. There is a clear fact. We had deployed our agents, we had prepared for the election, and few hours to the election was postponed. What makes us less victims than that? We are prepared for an election, we deployed our people, every one of us had gone back to our various local governments and communities to see that we partake in the election and get a credible, elect our candidates of our choice. Only for a few hours to the election, in midnight. In fact, a good number of people were already asleep when that decision was taken. So they woke up in the morning to hear that the elections has been postponed. So we are victims. We are not pretending about it. And our position is very clear with regards to that. So there's nothing to pretend about. We are victims. And we have no apologies for it. We are victims. And we are not happy about it. We never pretended about it. From day one, the national chairman has come out to express our position. And I can assure you that we all are agreeable to the position he took, that we are not happy about it. We felt disappointed. We felt betrayed, that INEC has a responsibility. Fair enough. Fair enough. I may commend them for having come out to own up that failure. They have come out to own up that failure. They've come out to apologize. So we give them another chance.
Okay. Yesterday, the APC at the caucus meeting, it was agreed that there's going to be an inquiry into what happened that led to this postponement. Is this inquiry going to be a judicial inquiry, an independent inquiry, or it will be APC-led?
No, I'm not in a position to say that. When Mr. President was speaking, he said, he alluded to that, and even members of the National Caucus, we've kind of presented a request to President that we need to know in details what happened. We need to be informed as to what Nigerians need to know as to truly what really happened. You see, the essence of this may not necessarily be to punish or anybody, but the important here is that we need that information. Nigerians need to know. Like I said earlier, election is a 4-year thing. After this election that will take place on Saturday, count 4 years afterwards. You're still going to have another election. So what is wrong with the Independent National Electoral Commission knowing exactly what happened? What is wrong with Nigerians knowing exactly what happened so that we can learn our lessons, so that such mistakes cannot be allowed to happen again, so that we can make corrections where necessary? Because in the life of a nation, 4 years is just, for me, it's a few hours. So another election will come. No sooner than later, another election will come. So we need to have information. We need to know what happened. If nothing else, we need to be guided.
Well, given the enormous challenges INEC has enumerated for the postponement of this election and the 1-week postponement, is your party confident that all this can be corrected in 1 week?
No, I was here in the studio when the INEC commissioner was speaking, and he spoke very confidently that they are ready for the election, that everything has been put in place. We have heard that before. I pray that this time around we will not be disappointed. So it is not in our place to have confidence for INEC. INEC has been provided with responsibility. INEC has been given what they're required to make sure that they carry out the responsibility judiciously. So we are waiting for them. But for us as a party, we are preparing, like we had already prepared before. We have to dust our campaign, excuse me, dust our campaign program and then go back to work again to still market ourselves further within the next 5 days.
All right, as we count down, since you mentioned the fact that you'll be dusting your campaign timetable again, what are the plans and where would you be hitting, and what's the plan of the APC over the next 4 days as we count down to the elections in terms of campaigning?
Yeah, we'll go back to the drawing table. We're going to look at hold meetings and then see how we can use the remaining 5 days very effectively. Some of us will return back to our local environments. Like, you know, every politics is local. We have to go back home to prepare ourselves, educate our, kind of rebrief our agents and those who are going to play one role or the other during the elections of Saturday, talk with them, go back to our various communities and talk with our people and on the need for them to sustain their support for our president and our members of National Assembly. We are confident, I can assure you, we are confident that Nigerians trust us. We are confident that the president has done very well. We are very confident that based on the record of performance of Mr. President, that we are going to be re-elected. So what we need to do is going to remind our people, appeal to them, because a lot of people may feel unhappy, may feel disenfranchised and refuse to come out. So we have to use the same remaining few days to encourage people to put whatever may have happened behind, their losses and whatever, and encourage them to come back and vote. Because a lot of people who traveled to the various local communities returned. Some of them returned angrily back to their locations. So we have to find a way to do a little more of a voter education to encourage people to go back and then exercise their franchise, because it's an opportunity for them to determine who they want to lead them at the various levels.
Well, your party has not hidden its disappointment in this postponement, and you've blamed INEC squarely for this, as well as roped in the major opposition party. However, you failed to take responsibility as well. I mentioned earlier that INEC did have over 600 legal cases and 40 court orders. As late as Friday, the electoral umpire says it's received one more order to include a candidate. Some of these political parties include yours, the case in Ogun State, Rivers State, Zamfara State, also caused delays in getting these sensitive materials ready for the election. Shouldn't you take some blame here as well?
No, we have no blame to take here because we have played no role in postponement of the election. The truth is that, yes, there are litigations coming off on the various political parties, that I agree with you that INEC has quite a lot on its plate, but the truth be told, INEC should know that these things will happen. You are dealing with human beings. You are dealing with human interests. And in a situation like that, you expect that reactions will follow. And those reactions may include the litigation processes, which is ongoing. So INEC should expect that people will protest. INEC should expect that. It's not a new thing. There has never been any electoral process that has come in this country, to the best of my knowledge, after which everybody goes to bed and says, that's fine, we accept what has happened. It has never been the case. And the elections for next one, after these 4 years, I can assure you there are still going to be litigations. So we should be prepared as an institution. INEC should be prepared to accept litigations because they will come. It's a certainty, it's part of the process. Because there is no way any political party would have finished the nomination process of their candidates, and some people will not feel injured. And because we have a system that at the end of the day, judiciary is in a position to settle it, we have no choice than to expect that court cases will come. But even my own party, like other parties, are also joined in the process.
But what does that say about internal democracies of parties? Because we know that most of this litigation stem from primaries conducted. It lays credence to lack of cohesion and internal democracies by political parties, where you have imposition of candidates.
I can assure you that within my own party, there's internal democracy. Excellent one. But the truth about it is that no matter how much you do that, certainly interests will clash. You are dealing with it's a human organization. My political party, APC, is a human organization. You are dealing with people, you are dealing with interests. There is no way interests will not clash, no matter how much you try to allow for internal democracy. In our party, we have internal democracy. We have encouraged, we have sustained it, and that is why you find in some cases we did direct primaries, because we want everybody to participate. We allow internal democracy, that I can assure you. We allow internal democracy. But I can also assure you that there is no way at the end of the day, because you, in quote, your internal democracy, you will not have litigations after, because you are dealing with human interests. And this is a business where everybody feels that he's the most qualified. And you can't lose sight of that fact. That's his claim, that's his belief. If at the end of the day he goes to a primary election and he loses, no matter what you say, he must find fault with the process. And the much you can do is to appeal to him to accept it. Where he refuses to accept, he has only one option left, and that option is to go to court. And you, because you're in a democratic institution, because you allow for free democratic process, what you need to do in that situation is to also, if you are summoned to court, to provide your own defense. But you cannot. You don't have the authority, you don't have the power to stop anybody from going to seek redress in a court of law.
But internal democracy is not the same thing as free and fair elections. Are you basically saying that the APC is not looking forward to having less wranglings and better primaries in the future?
That is our wish, and that's what we're working towards. That is our wish. Well, left to us, we wouldn't want to have any internal disagreement. That is the expectation, that is our desire. That's what we are praying for, and that's what we are working towards.
Well, indeed, we wish you...
But we will lose sight of the fact that wishes may be different from the realities on the ground.
Well, we do wish you and your party the best of luck in the coming elections, Mr. Chief Judge Moghalu, for spending time with us on the morning show this morning. Much appreciated.